Kenny, you mentioned UCLA's D-line being pretty impressive. Is that Latu, or can you talk about some of the guys that are...
All of them. Latu's obviously super talented. You know, there's some mock drafts where he's a top 5 pick right now. But they're all really good. I'd be doing them a disjustice or an injustice if I didn't say them all collectively. I don't think it'd be fair to the entire group in terms of how they're playing collectively.
What about like how they play, the style that they
blitz a lot, and they use their athleticism. They move their athletes around the field in the box, and they pressure. They do not play stagnant. Very rarely do they play stagnant, and if you watch their trends, they get more aggressive and more aggressive as the years gotten on, as they got more comfortable in the new scheme, and that aggressiveness has only been beneficial for them.
What's the biggest challenge in adjusting to that?
Blocking them. I mean, getting your hands on them and blocking them. They're difficult to block. That's why they're top 10 in the country in rush defense, top 10 in the country in sacks. So, because they're difficult to block. So, you know, we can say, let's line up and run the zone. Okay, cool. Like, see how that works for us, right? But we're going to have to be creative with, you know, how we throw it, how we run it, and the things we do in order to, you know, play to our strengths.
Jordan Clark after the game wanted to focus on everyone's doing their assignment. Are you noticing an improvement in just people focusing on their assignment this week?
Yeah, I mean, that's what I told him after the game, is why that last game was on me, was because that's a cultural game. That's a detail game. That's a physicality game. You don't win those games on game week. You win those games building a team and building a culture that's sustainable. And that's why I said that's on me. We're not there yet. We will get there. I promised them we're going to get there, but we weren't there yet to beat a team of that high a culture, that high a discipline, especially coming off with them highly motivated and us not playing our best game. So it's a great testament to us that we got to respond, we got to focus on the details, and you got to play physical.
As an offensive guy, you study someone like Chip Kelly. Like, what is it about him that makes him so good?
He changes what he does every week formationally, but they run the same schemes every week. So, okay, they're going to run G lead, but you don't know what formation, you don't know who's motioning, you don't know what backfield action they're going to get in. So you can never actually have your players practice a copy-paste play. Whereas I would say 75% of offenses in college football, you can copy-paste plays exactly to what they see on game day. With Chip Kelly, very rarely are you going to get a copy-paste play. You're going to get copy-paste concepts, but the concept may be tight end, double wing one week, and start an empty motion to running back in the backfield the next week, and your players have to be able to process this is the same thing, and this is the same fits, these are the same route pass-offs. But he makes you do them with different players, he makes you handle it with different motions, and I think that's what has made him successful over the years.
Like, how old were you when you started to really like focus on offensive scheme and stuff? And like Chip Kelly, when he was an innovator at Oregon, for example, were you like drawn to that already, or was it later on that kind of sparked you?
Yeah, no, I was drawn to it. I mean, I told people last year, you know, Arizona State was my dream school because that was the hometown school, my favorite, and then Oregon was the school that drew me with that style of play in that era. I said that last year when I, you know, got the job at Oregon. It's still the truth. Just because I took the job here doesn't change that. And the drawing of, you know, his ability to run the swinging gate and be innovative and not play the game scared. I think he really was one of the first coaches to think outside the box, be really, really creative, not just formationally and with plays and zone reads, but really creative with swinging gates and reading 3 techniques from the shotgun. And I think that's what really drew me to him, was just the creativity and the thinking outside the box.
We've talked about energy. I mean, obviously coming off a tough game like that, you guys have bounced back all year, but you feel good energy today at practice?
Yeah, good energy. Obviously, energy's hard because we're taking a lot off the guys. We've taken a lot off in the last few weeks, but we're taking a lot off them now. And it's obviously harder to have energy when you're not going at a rate, you know, that your body, you know, needs the juice. So I think that's the greatest challenge when adjusting to more of a walk-through pace, is you've got to be able to fight through the mental gymnastics of, hey, I know I'm walking physically, but I've got to take this mental rep full speed. And I think that's just part of growth that we, you know, over time we'll get better at and we'll get more comfortable with.